Hi, Panu here. This will be a review of the Victor Hypernano X900. Let's begin. The Hypernano series is Victor's latest addition to their lineup, offering high-end, even-balanced rackets to compete with Yonex Arc Saber line. It was released in 2016 and was featured by some of the Korean players, most notably Son Won-ho. The Hypernano X900 follows the trend of its predecessor, the Hypernano X800, by providing a subtle, classy design. I am a huge fan of the color combination of the X900. It's got a dark navy base with details in pink, gold and white, which shouldn't work, but it really does. The navy looked close enough to black, and the shade of pink used here is not too flashy, but still very noticeable from a distance. Overall, I think this colorway is a win and will appeal to most players, even people like me who normally prefers old school color schemes. The Hypernano X800 was a divisive racket because it had a very distinctive hollow feel, which many didn't like. Victor seemed to have taken the feedback to heart, as they have introduced a few additions to the Hypernano X900. The frame and shaft are made of highly resilient modulus graphite and nano fortified TR, which is a multi-layer carbon fiber designed to provide increased performance while minimizing weight and size. This results in an extra slim shaft at only 6.8mm and a solid frame that can be strung up to 31 pounds. The Hypernano X900 features a stiff shaft and an even balance point that is slightly tipped towards head heavy. It has a nice solid feel upon impact, which I like. Weight and balance are great. I can go through a 4-hour long and very intense session without feeling fatigue in my arm. That said, if you're a beginner, I would suggest that you stay away from this one for now. For one, because I don't recommend beginners to start with a high-end racket in general, but the second and most important reason is that this racket, due to its stiff shaft, is not very beginner friendly. It mostly relies on you for power generation, and the narrow head means that the sweet spot is relatively small. So if your form is not good and your technique is not yet developed, you'll have a hard time using the Hypernano X900. Power is really good with this racket. Forehand and backhanded clears were easy to pull off. Smashes are decent as well. It doesn't have the raw power of a head-heavy racket like the Yonex Fortrix Z-Force 2, but I'm able to put my opponents under pressure if I do have time to really set up and eject power through hip rotation. The racket provides a little extra pace to your shots, but most of the power has to be generated from your own strength. The control on this racket is excellent thanks to the stiff shaft. The clears are accurate and fall pretty much wherever you aim. Drop shots and net shots are also accurate. The extra weight at the head works really great in this regard, allowing me to gauge my shot with my arm really nicely. The Hypernano X900 has got a decent speed, though I found it to be slower than other even balanced racket I have played with. The weird frame design is supposed to help increase swing speed, but I still found the frame of the Hypernano X900 to have a slight drag when swinging. It isn't too bad though, it's maneuverable enough to be used in doubles, drives are okay, the head is fast enough in flat exchanges so you won't feel out of place with this racket. The Hypernano X900 is another great racket by Victor. It looks great, delivers good power, great control and a decent speed. This is to me a suitable racket for all disciplines. If you play double, where the fast flat game is dominant, you might struggle a little bit because it swings rather slow. Otherwise, this is a great all-rounder for you to have. A few downsides to point out are that 1, it is not a very forgiving racket, so if you are still developing your technique, this might not be a good choice for a first racket. Another downside is the high price point. The Hypernano X900 retails for about $160 where I live, which is really expensive. There are alternatives out there with similar specs that cost much less, like the Victor Bravestar 12, which has a faster frame but is a bit less powerful because the balance point is more headlight than even. There is also the Yonex Arc Saber 10, which is almost identical to this one, but you might have difficulties finding one in 2018 because it is an old model. You can also look at other less popular brands which also offer some interesting models of similar specs at an affordable price, like the JPX line of Mizuno or the Vapor Chair line by Carlton. And that was the review of the Victor Hypernano X900. If you found this video useful, consider leaving a like. Also consider subscribing, as I will be posting more badminton related content on this channel in the future. Thank you for watching, see you later.